What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this brand new channel of ours, BoostGumps MX. I just thought to start off and make a quick little introduction into what this channel actually is, why we decided to go this way with this channel, and what you're looking at and what's coming. So most of you have probably come from our other channel. If you haven't, we do have another channel which is just called BoostGumps. So if you want to go check that channel out, feel free to go and check it out. But the long and short of it is, guys, that essentially we are performance mechanics. We've made a living out of tuning and building performance engines. This here is our workshop. Our business is called On Song Performance. We've always been super passionate about cars and engines and tuning, and we've managed to be lucky enough to actually turn that, or work hard enough, I'd say, to turn that into a career. And we've been on this trajectory with this career for a couple of years now. We've been working super hard at it. And it's one of those things where we're super passionate about it and it's really awesome, but it can just be one of those things where it's too much of a good thing. And for probably the last 2 years especially, we've just been hard out going out the business. We haven't had many days off. It's been a hard slog getting it to where it is. So aside from obviously that business and being passionate about cars, our first love, both when we were both way too young to even enjoy cars, was motocross. Now, we grew up racing dirt bikes, we grew up racing motocross when we were young. We used to race at Kilcoy Motocross Club. We used to race a lot at Conondale in those days as well, and in those days was when the Coolum Junior Motorcycle Club was sort of just starting, and they just got that patch of land there in Coolum. We actually helped clear that land and build that track. We were there from the very beginning, back when that track was actually sand, before it was mostly topsoil. Back when Coolum was actually pine trees and sand, we used to race there way back in the day. So we raced when we were young. Neither of us were ever really that fast, but we raced nonetheless. We really enjoyed the atmosphere and being at the track and riding dirt bikes. That was pretty much our first love. So we eventually stopped racing, just for many reasons I won't go into, but we eventually stopped racing motocross. As I grew a bit older, once I got to my teens, I started getting right into enduro. I raced enduro through the early 2010s. Had a heap of fun doing that, and that's where I sort of really started to get better as a rider, when I started racing enduro. Through this time, obviously, we kept riding. We stopped racing, but we rode all the way through. Never really stopped riding. Both of us rode all the way up until I had an accident where I really badly destroyed my right arm. That is a story for another day. So we stopped riding. That's when we really started to get into cars, and it pretty much is history from there, and we ended up doing this. Back in those days when we were riding, what we were doing for work at that point was communications rigging. So for anyone that doesn't know what that is, communications rigging is essentially installing and servicing the communications equipment that keep your mobile phones running. So we were working a lot on mobile phone towers and equipment, and we were always climbing. Basically every day we were climbing, and every time we had weekends or days off, we were riding. So we were quite fit. We were really fit, honestly, at that point. And it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. But since we stopped riding, eventually we stopped rigging. Over the past 2 years, we've really been slogging out this business now. As much as obviously doing a lot of mechanical work isn't easy, it's not exactly super taxing or demanding on your body or your fitness. And I must say, over the past few years, we've grown ridiculously unfit, which has been proven by the first ride we had on this beast the other day, which you will see coming up. But essentially what we got to is we pretty much had been working every single day, 7 days a week for the best part of 2-3 years, and too much of a good thing. We really needed something else to do that was not work. As much as we love going to car events, going to drift events, we are at a point now where it does still feel like work, because usually when we go to these events, we're always fixing people's stuff for them, because it's what we do. it's our thing, it's our job. So it still feels like work going to these events. So we sort of really wanted to do something that would actually give us a break from cars, get us away from cars and away from work, and give us an actual proper break. Motocross is something that is a reason for us to keep fit and actually keep in some sort of shape as well, which is obviously very good for you both mentally and physically. So Rex actually picked up the CR125 a little while ago. It'll be another story for another day about this actual bike, but essentially we finally got hold of it down here where we are, and we've got a bike to ride. So we figured it'd be an awesome thing for us to do, have a bit of fun. Obviously, as much as BoostGumps, the original channel, was really fun at the start, and it started out as a hobby, we have been sort of lucky enough and worked hard enough to turn it into a career, and it's sort of on a path that I intend to see through. I'm going to keep on going on the path that it's on, and it is pretty much a job now. It is basically a living. It's how I make a living. It is a job. So the goal with this channel is just to have something else to do for fun, really. I actually enjoy making videos. I find it fun to make videos for YouTube. I already have another channel that is sort of the main channel for income sort of deal. So the prime aspect of this channel is really just to have fun. I don't really have any plans for it to go anywhere seriously or to make money the way the other one does. Obviously, if it gets to a point where I can profit a little bit from it to put back into being able to ride, I will. But that's not the intention or the plan for the channel. The plan is to really just to keep it fun. Basically what you're going to see is two washed up old blokes that are injury riddled and super unfit try and get back into the sport and just have a bit of fun. So it's going to be a long road. As we saw from our first ride on this thing, we are both incredibly unfit. It is going to be a long road to get back some ride fitness, also probably some talent and some skills to get back into it. So essentially this is Rex's bike. We're going to share this for a little while. I'm going to see how the arm holds up after a few rides. As long as the arm holds up and everything's all good and I'm feeling good on the bike, well then I'm going to get my own bike and then we'll each have a bike. So obviously the era we grew up in was 2-strokes, 90s motocross. We have a really big soft spot for these things and we're stoked to have this bike being a 92. I would love to get another pre-95 125 for myself. Obviously if things go well and we both get right into riding, we'll probably end up with newer bikes in future, but you know, I don't think we'll ever sell bikes like these. We're pretty interested in doing a bit of VMX and stuff like that. So you know, eventually you'll see some bike builds on the channel. I've got a little Pee-wee for my young fella who's nearly turning 2, so that'll be a full build on that Pee-wee that I picked up for him. We will eventually do a full resto on this bike, but for now we just want to ride it, so it's sort of just fixing the things as we go to keep it rideable. So basically on this channel you're going to see a lot of us riding, doing work on bikes, hopefully some bike builds, and just generally going out and having some fun at a few places and having fun with mates. So another reason I wanted to start this channel is you know, obviously the sport at a professional level at the moment is super exciting. I did want to do a lot of Supercross analysis and news and things through this channel just because I do have a great interest in that, and I do have my finger on the pulse when it comes to the sport professionally. Not only that, but it is a very exciting time for the sport with a lot of the new young talent that's coming through. You know, the premier class at the moment in the States is super deep. There's a lot of really good riders, and not only that, but there are a lot of really good amateur riders coming through. There's a lot of people that I think are going to change the sport with the way they portray themselves as athletes. And I really just think that the future to come of the sport is exciting. It's definitely got a bright future, the sport. So I really wanted to sort of have an avenue to sort of do that sort of thing when I want to do it as well. So I really wanted to get this started before the Supercross season started so I could do sort of weekly analysis updates, that sort of thing, but that didn't quite happen. It was a bit slow to get started. We are very busy with the business and the other channel. So this is sort of just a subsequent thing when I get time. It's not going to be a priority, like I said. It's really just sort of a fun thing, so it's a spare time type deal. But anyway, I do hope in future to do a bit of that. I've actually started our own Pulp Fantasy Supercross League for anyone that wants to play Pulp Fantasy Supercross but play for free. You don't have to pay to join the actual Pulp League. You can actually play for free in a private league which we've created for people. So if you want to come and do that, that makes the Supercross season pretty fun. But yeah, that's pretty much what the channel is about. Just thought I'd give you a rundown on that. There'll be more videos to come in future, more about our history in the sport and sort of where we've been and what we've done in the sport. And obviously I'll be making quite a few videos on this bike here, and there's a few videos to come of us riding. But yeah, hope you enjoy, hope you stick around, smash subscribe, smash the like button, and look forward to seeing you in future videos. Cheers guys.